So apparently, I can't do a live stream on YouTube unless I have 50 subscribers. Womp, womp, womp. So you get a recorded video. And I'm gonna talk about some personal stuff a little bit selfishly so I have it video documented. Should I need to reference this video in court? And we're going to time travel a little bit before we get to current events that are going on in my life right now. From 2011 to 2015, I worked for one of the largest IT staffing companies in the United States of Israel called Apex Systems. Apex Systems was acquired by On Assignment, stock ticker ASGN, which Apex Systems trades under today, in 2012 when I was working there. I was primarily in a sales position, and I went into a sales management type role, reporting to the vice president and president of the company, Rob McGuckin and Ram Blazer. Once I found out that Rob McGuckin was surveilling me in an underhanded way, which we don't know what that was even still today, but he had inside information from people, or I don't even want to say from people, but he had inside information from meetings that only the people who would have been in that room would have been exposed to. And he was not transparent about how we got that information, so I quit on the spot because I don't work for shady people. So that was 2015. As soon as I quit, abruptly, I started getting stalked and hit with EMF weapons. Of course, at the time when I reported this to the FBI, they refused to investigate EMF weapons. And to this day, Lockheed Martin will not investigate. Everyone claims to support our troops, but no one's interested in a 28-year NSA whistleblower named Karen Melton Stewart, who implicated Lockheed Martin through a private investigative report. Lockheed Martin is one of Apex Systems' largest clients. So I was targeted. Karen was targeted. There are many targets, and many people have pointed a finger at Lockheed Martin, and no one has investigated. Now, I don't know, the year's 2026, right? So I don't know how much you guys are paying attention, but the FBI doesn't have a great track record to date. So for the last 10 years, I've been called a conspiracy theorist. I've been called a pedophile. I've been called crazy. I've been called someone who has mental health issues. And now we're going to bring it into my personal life because a little over 3 years ago, I was fortunate enough to become a father. And I'm going to give you the background on that story. I spent like a good 20 years of my life just being promiscuous. I've never had a serious relationship with the exception of maybe being close to a few people, but nothing in the traditional sense. I've never been married. And the individual who is the mother of my son reached out to me randomly after several years of basically no communication. Not that we had a relationship to begin with, but she reached out to me twice. The year must have been 2021 going into 2022. And she reached out to me once to get her out of a DUI and once to remove a live-in boyfriend that she had staying with her. And I did both of those things. And while I was up there for one of the nights, we had sex. And, she told me and asked me what I thought if she kept the child and had a baby. And my response was, life is beautiful. Now, I'm a pretty smart cat. Let me tell you about my yesterday. I'm an independent contractor. I'll come back to my son and personal, and because it's all tied in. I'm an independent contractor, and I run my own painting business. So yesterday morning, I went to a commercial project at 4 a.m., and I painted all the crown molding in the unit except for one room where we have the door set up where we're spraying. And I got my mom's laundry. I dropped it off to my mom, and it was just after 9 o'clock at this point in the morning, and I'm like, I can make it to a poker tournament. I like to play poker. So I shot up to Mohegan Sun, and I bought into the poker tournament, and I busted out like right away. And I was like, yeah, that wasn't very good. So I bought back in again, and I won the tournament. My name is Thomas Kimball. You could verify that. So Mohegan just so happens to be the tribe where my baby mama and my baby are affiliated. And this individual is prominent in her community, right? I've been alienated from my son since birth. In fact, I was denied a DNA test for over 5 months because she was making excuses, saying that her Uber driver, live-in boyfriend had lost a toe. Who gives a fuck? I want to know if this is my kid or not. So from the onset, I was denied knowledge of knowing that this is my son. Now, I'll remind you, I was only up there twice after years of not interacting with this individual. So I wanted the verification to know that this is my child. And he is my child. And so I'm a scumbag because I wasn't there during her pregnancy. You know, she should have feelings about that. Except where it comes to the fruition now that our son is here, you can no longer keep us apart. But that's exactly what's happened. I've been kept apart from my son. So I didn't want to go to court for personal reasons. I've grown up in several divorced households, and I've seen essentially what the court's power can do. So I wanted to avoid that with every fiber of my being based on my own upbringing. And when I wasn't being allowed to see my son for about a year at this point, I had to go to court, right? Now, I've been in litigation for over a year. My son is over 3 years old. We've seen each other for 11 hours every 2 weeks since going to court. And the mother has gone into mediation and then pulled out of mediation. The mother has gotten to a car accident with my son in the car. The mother has accidentally lit a fire in my son's room and had the apartment that they lived in condemned. The neighbors told me that they left my son in the car on a hot day. The neighbors have told me, or former neighbors at this point, have told me, because they've relocated multiple times in the last 2 years, not telling me where they're moving to every time. And the former neighbors told me that they heard yelling from several doors down. So they're yelling at the mother's yelling at my son, has put my son in precarious situations. I've witnessed a drop off where she let my son run, 15 feet through a parking lot right next to a main road at a pickup drop off. She's physically attacked me on December 8th of 2024. She physically attacked me and pushed me and took my son out of the car. So these are all the actions of the mother, and I've been denied time with my son and alienated from my son, not just me, my whole family. And these aren't our rights. This is my son's rights to know his biological father and his biological family. 11 hours every 2 weeks is a fucking joke. And there's more stuff that go along with this case that I'm not going to mention because just to try to respect the case and the investigations that are going on. So what's the point? God made all of us. And if you need a reminder of that, I suggest you look at your children. So all the adults in this world are fucking lost. You have no idea what you're doing. You're not paying attention. You're not looking out for anyone's best interest. I'm not even going to speak on the court. I got to file a complaint against this judge and send it to the CJC and get this shit fixed out. That's my own personal situation. But I think everyone has lost their way a little bit. And if anyone doesn't believe in God, I suggest you look at your kids in the face, right? And you'll get a reminder that children are the closest that we come to connecting to God in this lifetime. And we have a responsibility to protect them and look out for them. And I don't see it. I see a bunch of adults who are too cowardly to tell the truth. So anyway, good morning.